For me, I am ready for a new challenge, says Marcus Rashford in a very interesting interview that he has shared with Henry Winter. Welcome to the United Sport. Here is big breaking news concerning the future of one of the best goal scorers in recent era for Manchester United, who is now surplus to requirements, and the new boss Ruben Amorim has made it clear that Rashford has got to go to start the way of a new way of doing things, a new culture at Manchester United. It's a whole new dawn under Ineos and Ruben Amorim, and Rashford is the first casualty. Now, an interview has been shared that Marcus Rashford had with Henry Winter, and he's a football writer, very credible guy. And Rashford, of course, as ever, trying to be as humble as he can. And these are the statements he has made. He has opened up, and he has clearly made the door open now, confirmed what you already know. Today he was given a day off. He went and met kids in his former, school, giving them stuff for Christmas and festive season, and just sharing around because already I think he's trying to work around the news that is not needed at Man United no more. So this is what he said in an interview that for me personally, I think I'm ready for a new challenge and for the next steps. And he says, when I leave, it's going to be no hard feelings. You are not going to have any negative comments from me on Manchester United. That's me as a person. When I leave, I will make a statement and it will be from me, from the heart. I will always be a red, 100% sure. It's disheartening to be left out of the derby, but it's happened. We won the game, and so let's move on. It's disappointing, but I'm also someone, as I've got older, I can deal with setbacks. What am I going to do? Sit there and cry about it, or do my best the next time I'm available? Marcus added. This is what he shared. This is his statements. I'm quoting a few of the things he said in that interview. Of course, the key thing is for him, I think, confirming what we've been talking about, how he's ready for a new challenge because he's no longer wanted at Man United. Now, listen, this moment, I think, is one that we knew was going to come. Well, it's one that many of us were hoping for. And it is probably surprising that it's happening in Jan because not so many people were expecting that Rashford would leave Man United in Jan. But I think what we see is two parties that have mutually agreed that the best thing for the player is to move on. That his surplus requirements, clearly from his statements, he was not happy about the idea of being left out of the derby. He still thought he was an important player and an integral part of what Ruben Amorim would want to build with Man United. But unfortunately, he's left out, and Man United wins convincingly, perhaps one of the most convincing victories United has had. So you get a sense that for a player like Rashford, he should be mature enough to know in his head that clearly there is no justification for me to try and stick around and cling on because he has a contract. He could have made it difficult for Man United to let go of him, but they have clearly probably got to a point where they say both parties agree that this is the best direction to go for both ways, part ways, and of course see what then will be left of his career. Uh, in terms of course, talking about, he won't say a bad thing about United or so and what. Of course, he can't. He has no right to do so because this is the club that made him, gave him the opportunity, have been patient with him, given him the money, changed his life. So I think really there should indeed be no hard feelings between Rashford and Man United. But in any case, he has scored so many goals for Man United. No one hates him. It is just not happening for him, and it's painful to watch if you are a typical Man United supporter who knows where Rashford came from. You don't want to see him suffer the way he was. You know, like painfully playing football. He was not enjoying his football. Never was he going to have a smile back on his face while playing. Even when he was scoring goals for Ruben Amorim, it was the same thing you felt. So for me, I think it's the right thing. It's even coming. It's long overdue, but again, surprising us that it could be happening in Jan. That at least for the greater good, and with all appreciation to Rashford, for the greater good, I do believe he has got a chance to again enjoy his talent elsewhere. But for Man United, it's a good beginning because now you clearly see a Ruben Amorim who is in control of his boys now and in control of the direction of where he wants to take the club. That for me is very important. Meanwhile, the other player, as Rashford, is releasing interviews and statements of how he's pained and what have you about his future. Garnacho is winning the Puskas Award for his best goal. The goal against Everton has won the Puskas Award. Uganda's Dennis Omedi has come third. Impressive. And then Amad Diallo's contract talks seem to be progressing so well that sooner than later we could be hearing something done, because Ruben Amorim made it clear he wants that to be done and sorted. He wants the whole Amad Diallo contract situation to be sorted once and for all. So you can see it's contrasting happenings at Man United, or goings on at Man United. But you can see that at least they are working. There is no time to waste. There is a a tough race against the clock at Man United for both Ineos, of course, the chief himself, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but mostly for Ruben Amorim, who barely has enough training sessions with the players. Yet he has got to change a lot of things about how the team plays and everything, the attitude, the mentality, explaining certain decisions, because you can imagine banishing Rashford. I would call it banishing in a way, but dropping him out of a derby, you've got to explain to the young players, because it's sending a tough signal. I mean, a torrid signal through the team. So you've got to explain that. You recall that there was an emergency meeting recently at the club, and then leaks of starting 11s leaking. This was rumored to be Garnacho, who was orchestrating this. Some believe it's part of the reasons why he's being also dropped from the team with Rashford. It's part of them. But you look at all this and you see that Amorim is trying so fast to get things in control, and which you want to see. The earlier he gets things in control, the more time he will buy for himself to try and make the most out of the 2.5 years he's got in his current contract with Man United. So it's an interesting phase. It's an interesting phase of the club. Again, keeps drawing me back to the famous or infamous marginal gains that Ineos and Sudden Bros were known for. They are changing little things that are certainly going to have a huge impact. People don't understand how significant the departure of Marcus Rashford will be for Man United. But I'll tell you, it's the biggest statement. You're talking a boy who has been the poster boy of Man United, who are trying to build him into the poster boy of English football, but he has failed terribly at his boyhood club, and right now he's left to search for a club, and there are not even so many clubs that are willing as suitors for him. He's been priced at as low as 40 million. Some people say 62, but 40 million seems to be the more realistic. But even that, you're not sure who is going to come in and pay that money. It seems, by the way, that Rashford is in a situation where he has got to take a pay cut to leave Man United but still play football. He has got to take a pay cut unless he's going to go to Saudi and make his money from that side. But staying in Europe, he certainly has got to take a pay cut. No one is going to match the 350,000 or so quid that he's earning per week. So you can imagine what that would mean. But that has got a huge impact on the future of Man United and Ruben Amorim and everything he's trying to do with the club. So that's very important for us to look into. So that's the breaking update. Rashford has confirmed what we already know, and it's again for us to wait to see now. Does it mean that, of course, if he leaves, most likely in Jan, if a suitor comes, are we then going to see a replacement? The details of how he leaves, whether it will be a loan with an obligation to buy in the future, whichever club he goes to, we may not go into that for now. But either way, the point is he's leaving and there's no point of return. Amorim made it clear, when people are losing their jobs, you cannot be playing games when people are losing their jobs. But that said, will there be need for a replacement? Will it be him just going and then the youngins are given an opportunity into the senior team? That's what we are waiting to see. And again, I do expect more interesting revelations about how Ruben Amorim works, considering the things he's beginning to scratch for himself within the club. I feel like the more exciting times are coming for Man United. My name is Webb. This is the United World Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me catch you later. Rashford is no more.